Welcome, everybody, to Geek Reports Comics You Crave. I'm Brian West.
And I'm Ryan Thompson.
And tonight, after one of our most, heatedly debated episodes ever, we decide for the first time in our show history, we were going to review the second issue of a comic. Tonight, we are going to be reviewing Man-Eaters #2 from Image Comics.
Yes, so if you haven't watched our first review, maybe you should go watch that.
Yes.
And you can maybe skip the comments section.
We got some interesting ones.
And then go straight to this one. But this is it's a great comic, like Brian says, from Image. The writer on it is Chelsea Cain, and the artwork, the amazing artwork, is done by Cain Geek. And the cover is by Leah.
You nailed it.
Marinick. And the comic actually came out on Halloween. So you can get this comic now.
Yes, it's available now, digital or print.
Yeah. So
we read it on digital. Beautiful on digital.
Yeah.
I will say real quick a little bit about reading it on digital. This one had some, I noticed it had a full page spreads. It took me a little while because I'm reading it in order, and then I realized, why is this out of order? And then I had to go back and kind of oh, wait a minute. They're taking the pages. Unfortunately, when you get these, a lot of times, where'd it go? When you get the digital copies, where'd it go? There it is. When you get the digital copies, you got to scroll up like this, and you don't get the full panel spread. So just FYI, if you do buy it digitally, there's some full panels. You'll have to zoom in and zoom out. But it looks beautiful, just like the first one. The artwork is amazing. Very much enjoyed it. Same style as the first one, same artist, I believe.
Yeah. Hello, Ant.
Yeah. Hello, Ants. Picks up pretty much right where the first issue left off. If you're not familiar with the series, basically it's about it's a fictional world where girls, when they there's been a new virus introduced into the world that only affects girls, and it only affects girls that are about to have their period. It turns them into giant felines once they start having their period that eat people, and so the whole world has now become afraid of girls with periods, and they've come out with some suppressants to suppress periods, so very few girls actually have it anymore. The whole world has turned into this fearful of girls, and boys get to drink special water because it's not
putting
contaminated.
guns up to their daughters' heads because they found out someone got eaten.
Yeah, and a quick review of our last episode. I don't want to rehash the first episode too much, but basically me and Ryan thought that yes, this comic book definitely has an agenda, right? To an extent.
Yeah.
It definitely is written in a way that wants to bring light to feelings that maybe the female writer, I won't speak for her, but she feels strongly about. And as a female, maybe some of the things she's gone through in her life, and so she's expressing it through this comic. So this is definitely not when someone says, oh, this comic has a feminist agenda. I mean, I don't think it's a feminist agenda at all, but there is definitely feminist ideas in this, and it is definitely written by females from a female point of view, trying to point out certain things that they've had to deal with. So that is all 100% accurate. But me and Ryan felt that this was very much done in a way that was really fun and almost tongue-in-cheek. It was pointing out some things in a a satiristic way.
Yeah.
That we really enjoyed and we thought was really refreshing. This is one of the most original concepts I've ever read, and honestly, I just thought it was fun. The first issue was fun right from the get-go. It was a world that you cared about, characters you liked, and it was just such a crazy idea that you'd be reading so much about female periods and really just be enjoying this comic book.
Well, and for someone like me who's knew about the existence of tampons, and I've never really looked at the instruction manual, but I mean, I know you said you're sitting there and you're reading the instruction. I was looking at oh man, I never even thought about 90% of this stuff, and now it's in my brain, and
this is one of the things I've enjoyed about reading a comic book written by a woman from a woman's point of view. Is these are things I've never thought about as a guy. I mean, I'll be honest. Me and Ryan are two late 30, early 40-year-old dudes who've never. I have daughters,
and we're married.
I know what a period is. I've been with a woman who has a period, but I've never really thought about it from the perspectives that they kind of lay out in this comic book. And I honestly, I just really enjoy this comic book, and I love how attention to detail. There is an entire page that is dedicated. I don't know if you can see that very well.
It's hard because it's really bright.
Yeah, it was. Sorry, there's an entire page dedicated to. Well, I mean, there's some graphic stuff in there. There's some probably better than everybody can see. There's an entire page dedicated to showing our hero how to use a tampon. And it's written out the whole way with diagrams and ways to use it. Listen, I'm not going to lie. If you did not like Man-Eaters #1, you were going to fucking hate Man-Eaters #2 because it doubles down on all the...
they completely doubled down. But I think they came out ahead, honestly.
Yes, they did. This is a great second issue.
It's a good second issue. It's definitely pushing the story forward.
Well, it pushes the story forward, but like I said, it also kind of, I feel like I said, once again, I do not want to speak for the writer, but I feel like Chelsea, she wrote this knowing that a lot of people were going to hate it, right? And so I think, I didn't think everybody would hate it. We got a lot of hate mail for our opinion on the first issue, and unsurprisingly, I mean, we're just a small little show that likes to review comic books, and we got more dislikes on our YouTube than we've ever gotten for anything. And I had to look up words like toxic femininity. I didn't even know that was a thing. Apparently people think it is. I did not expect that people would hate this as much as they did because it's such a good comic book. It's well written, the art is amazing, and the story is a lot of fun. But it's like she's decided that, you know what, I know people are going to hate this, and if you hated the fact about, like, the periods and women stuff, this whole issue is almost completely dedicated to talking, dealing with, and showing us the insight of a girl going through her period.
Yeah, well, and like you were saying, it's if you can't handle this kind of stuff, then why are you even reading it? Honestly,
I think
it's such a great comic. I'm having a lot of fun reading it.
Oh, absolutely!
Like you said, the story's great. The artwork is probably, I'm gonna say, my top 5 favorite art.
Yeah, I think it works great. I think it works great with the subject matter as well. I have to say too, I was reading it before we did this review. I'm kind of going through it and reading the comic, and my 9-year-old daughter caught wind of it, and she's like, "Oh my god, what's that?" She's like, "I really like her hat. It's like a little cat." Yeah. It's almost like one of the I guess the pussy hats they were doing in the Women's March. It kind of looks like, but she immediately wanted to read it, and I'm like, I don't know if you're quite old enough for. I don't think you'll quite get the subject matter, but
maybe she was like 11 or 12. Or something.
Yeah, I'm going to give her a couple more years and then she'll check it out. But also, one of the things I love, they continue with the fun fake ads. Yeah,
those are great at the very beginning.
Public warning: this comic may attract girls and women. If you see a girl or woman in your area, remain calm. Girls and women may lash out if provoked. I mean, it is such tongue in cheek. Now, if you take it from a hateful place, I don't know what to tell you, man. I think this is all great.
There's nothing you can do to tell you that you will like it. If you're coming from a negative viewpoint before you even start,
I think personally, I think this is like I said, it's a lot of satire, and I think this is a lot of the author giving us some of her experiences that she's dealt with in her life, and kind of doing it in a tongue-in-cheek way that's really entertaining, right? So I don't think we can say anything more. To your point, I think the second issue really moves the comic along. The story, it sets up kind of a mystery of is our hero maybe kind of good, kind of like is this the person that they're looking for? Is she eating people? Who knows?
Happen to the babysitter?
Yeah, we get the mom in this one. I love the dynamic between the mom and the dad, and even the whole family dynamic. I think it's really good.
Yeah, and the mom or the dad's a cop. I like the characters. I like the story.
Yeah.
It's something that I'm going to keep reading.
And I love the writing, and I love the perspective that they give us of Maud, the main female teenage protagonist. I like how she always has her dad say what she wants her dad to say, and then she's like, well, that's not what he really said, and then it shows what he actually said. I don't know. I really enjoy this comic book. I'm going to keep reading it. So, if you watch a review and you hate it because we like it, well, I don't have to tell you.
Yeah, thanks for your hate views.
This comic isn't called I Hate Men, Every Man Should Cut Off His Dick and Die. It's called Man-Eaters, and it's a lot of fun. Just deal with it.
Yeah, just deal with it. And for everyone else, it's a really fun comic.
Yeah, I love it.
Enjoy it. And just be prepared for a lot of tampons and periods.
Yeah, there's a lot of tampon stuff in here. I actually read... Side note, I read the entire instruction because I didn't know if they were going to put like some jokes in there that maybe like to see if anybody actually read it.
Yeah,
no, it is literally...
Even like on the food containers, you know, they kind of had like the funny, it was kind of like a funny name for the food.
So I thought it might be funny. No, it is literally instructions on how to use a tampon. And what's funny is I've never read instructions on how to use a tampon. And I went from like looking for jokes to by the end being like, oh, I never really thought about that. I guess that is true. You'd have to do it like that. So yeah, I learned something. There you go. But anyway, I think I speak for both of us. Geek Dad Report, me and Ryan both absolutely recommend Man-Eaters #2. Obviously, we recommend, if you haven't read #1, you check out #1. This is one of our favorite series, and haters be damned, we are going to continue to gush about this and talk about it because we like it a lot. So it's available now. Check it out. Issue 1 and 2, Image Comics. Man-Eaters. And yes, that is not a mouse or a cat. That is a tampon. That is a cover. Deal with it.
So great.
Anyway,
so great.
You got anything else?
No.
All right, well, everybody, thanks for watching. Until next time, stay awesome.
And read more comics.